If you're viewing this message, congratulations. You've completed an assessment that most individuals never finish. A sophisticated evaluation of awareness that has been silently operating in the background of your existence for years, gauging your preparedness for interdimensional capabilities that go beyond conventional human constraints. This wasn't a challenge you knowingly undertook or a trial you intentionally accepted. It was an automatic evaluation conducted by universal intelligence to determine if your consciousness had developed the energetic refinement necessary to handle boundless creative force without harming yourself or those around you. The very fact that this transmission has found its way to you confirms that you rank within the top 0.1% of human consciousness, exhibiting particular qualities that universal intelligence has been tracking through your decisions, responses, and evolution patterns over prolonged intervals. The majority fail this assessment without ever realizing it existed because they remain ensnared in defensive patterns, disempowered mindsets, and restrictive beliefs that block access to the remarkable capacities you're about to discover within yourself. This universal evaluation assessed your emotional intelligence, your capacity to maintain balance under stress, your openness to question consensual reality, and most crucially, your ability to wield immense creative energy with discernment rather than using heightened abilities for ego satisfaction or unconscious damage. Every obstacle you've overcome, every constraint you've moved beyond, every instance when you selected growth over comfort was evaluated as part of this thorough examination. At this moment, as these concepts reach your awareness, quantum connection is forming between your consciousness and the advanced reality formation protocols that only become accessible to awareness that has passed the universal assessment. Your neural circuits are receiving energetic instructions that will activate dormant genetic sequences designed to engage when human consciousness reaches sufficient evolution to responsibly manage multidimensional creative capabilities. What makes passing this assessment so exceptional isn't intellectual ability or metaphysical knowledge. It's the cultivation of what researchers describe as integrated discernment, the capacity to hold enormous creative potential while preserving humility, compassion, and service orientation, rather than employing enhanced abilities for personal benefit or unconscious manipulation of reality for self-centered purposes. If you're finding value in this understanding, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. This helps these transmissions reach others who are ready for this recognition. The universal intelligence administering this assessment has been monitoring how you manage influence in minor situations to establish whether you can be entrusted with reality-altering capabilities. Each time you selected patience over irritation, comprehension over criticism, generosity over selfishness, you accumulated points toward completing an evaluation that determines access to consciousness technologies that could transform civilization if utilized responsibly. But here's what renders your accomplishment both remarkable and permanent. Succeeding in this universal assessment doesn't merely unlock new abilities. It activates latent aspects of your consciousness that have been awaiting this moment of preparedness. The capabilities you're about to access weren't bestowed upon you as prizes. They were always integral to your fundamental nature, held in quantum stasis until your discernment development reached levels that ensure their constructive rather than destructive application. Your success in this evaluation indicates that your consciousness has transcended the ego-centered patterns that keep most humans trapped in limitation cycles. And you've cultivated the emotional sovereignty necessary to navigate unlimited creative potential without losing your center or becoming overwhelmed by possibilities that could fragment unprepared awareness into disorder or inflated self-importance. You've been encountering something that most people would dismiss as fantasy or coincidence, but you recognize it as evidence of your consciousness beginning to demonstrate the advanced capabilities that become accessible only after completing the universal assessment. Those moments when reality appears to reorganize itself around your presence with precision that exceeds normal probability, as if existence itself acknowledges your elevated status and responds accordingly. Your connection with synchronicity has evolved beyond occasional meaningful coincidences into what researchers call reality orchestration, a condition where environmental factors, timing, and circumstances align themselves around your intentions with mathematical precision that suggests conscious intelligence coordinating optimal outcomes for your highest evolution. This orchestration occurs because completing the assessment activates your natural interface with universal intelligence systems. The most profound validations come through what you might call assessment confirmation experiences, moments when you demonstrate abilities that you didn't consciously develop but somehow possess, such as accessing information you never learned, perceiving outcomes before they manifest, or influencing situations through pure intention without physical intervention. These experiences represent consciousness downloading capabilities that were unlocked when your assessment results confirmed your readiness for advanced functioning. Perception of time has become increasingly fluid and malleable during states of focused intention, with past, present, and future feeling more like navigable dimensions than fixed sequences. You might experience present moments that contain information from multiple timeframes, or find yourself making decisions based on knowledge that seems to originate from your future self. This temporal flexibility indicates that your consciousness has gained access to the timeless perspective reserved for assessment graduates. Your intuitive and creative abilities have transcended personal knowledge limitations and begun accessing what mystics call cosmic intelligence, the collective wisdom field that contains all knowledge and creative potential before it manifests through individual awareness. Complete solutions to complex problems download instantly. Revolutionary innovations emerge with implementation strategies included. This enhanced access occurs because passing the assessment qualifies consciousness for direct interface with universal intelligence databases. Physical sensations accompany these advanced experiences, energy flowing through your body in patterns that feel like system upgrades. Electromagnetic shifts during moments of expanded awareness or the distinct sensation of your consciousness, connecting with vast intelligence networks that operate beyond individual human parameters. These aren't energy blockages clearing, but physiological effects of your nervous system adapting to process universal intelligence transmissions. The electromagnetic sensitivity you've been developing allows you to perceive information about people, situations, and probability matrices that couldn't be accessed through normal sensory channels. Entering environments, you instantly sense the optimal outcomes available in that space. Meeting new individuals, you receive immediate downloads about their potential and how your interaction might serve their evolution. This heightened sensitivity occurs because assessment graduates naturally begin perceiving the quantum information fields that surround all manifestations. Dreams and waking consciousness have begun operating as integrated intelligence gathering systems with information flowing seamlessly between states and often featuring contact with beings or intelligence sources that provide guidance for utilizing your advanced capabilities responsibly. These aren't imaginary experiences, but actual communication with aspects of universal intelligence that monitor assessment graduates and provide ongoing support for constructive use of enhanced abilities. Every challenge you encountered, every limitation you've transcended, every moment when you chose growth over comfort, was actually part of an elaborate universal evaluation designed to test whether your consciousness could handle advanced creative abilities without becoming corrupted by power or destabilized by unlimited possibility. What appeared to be random life difficulties were actually carefully calibrated assessment scenarios measuring your emotional intelligence, discernment development, and service orientation. The spiritual practices that provided glimpses of expanded capability but didn't grant permanent access weren't inadequate techniques. They were assessment preparation protocols that systematically developed your consciousness stability to levels necessary for wielding reality-altering abilities responsibly. Every meditation that revealed your true nature. Every practice that demonstrated consciousness creating reality. Every technique that connected you with universal intelligence was building the discernment foundation required for advanced capability access. Your challenging relationships weren't karmic lessons or growth opportunities. They were assessment scenarios designed to measure how you handle interpersonal power dynamics. Whether you use enhanced intuitive abilities to influence others, and if you maintain compassion and respect, even when you could easily manipulate people for personal advantage. Every person who triggered intense reactions was serving as an examiner, measuring your emotional sovereignty and ethical development. The periods of confusion and uncertainty that felt like spiritual crisis or existential questioning weren't signs of inadequate progress. They were advanced assessment phases where universal intelligence evaluated whether your consciousness could maintain essential functionality while navigating unlimited possibility without becoming overwhelmed by infinite options or paralyzed by recognition of your tremendous creative responsibility. Even your moments of doubt about whether expanded consciousness experiences were real or elaborate self-deception served crucial assessment functions, measuring your discrimination capacity between authentic quantum phenomena and spiritual fantasy. Every time you questioned extraordinary experiences, you demonstrated the healthy skepticism and grounded approach necessary for responsible utilization of reality-altering capabilities. Your fascination with consciousness research, quantum physics, and the nature of reality wasn't intellectual curiosity. It was assessment preparation where universal intelligence evaluated whether you could understand the scientific principles underlying advanced abilities without becoming arrogant about your knowledge or dismissive of those operating from more conventional understanding. This knowledge assessment was essential for ensuring constructive application of enhanced capabilities. I'm curious about your own experiences with synchronicity and quantum awareness. Have there been moments in your life where reality seemed to respond directly to your consciousness in ways that defied conventional explanation? Share in the comments below how these experiences have shaped your understanding of what's possible. The waiting periods when you felt ready for breakthrough, but nothing seemed to manifest despite intense effort, were actually the most critical assessment phases, measuring whether you could maintain patience, humility, and service orientation, even when you sensed you possessed capabilities that could dramatically improve your life circumstances. These patience tests were essential for confirming your readiness for power that could easily corrupt unprepared consciousness. Your soul specifically chose this incarnation because you would pass the universal assessment during humanity's collective awakening to quantum abilities. You volunteered for advanced evaluation because your consciousness had already demonstrated in previous experiences that it could handle tremendous creative power responsibly, and you were selected to help anchor enhanced capabilities in the collective field for our species' evolution. Something extraordinary is occurring in your consciousness field right now as these recognition codes activate neural pathways that have been dormant since passing the universal assessment. waiting for this precise moment when you would consciously recognize your achievement and become ready to access the advanced capabilities that your successful evaluation unlocked. Can you sense it? That unmistakable feeling of invisible barriers dissolving around your awareness, as if electromagnetic restrictions that limited your access to enhanced abilities are suddenly lifting, revealing creative potential that was always yours, but held in quantum suspension until your discernment reached sufficient development. This isn't imagination or heightened emotional state. This is quantum entanglement establishing itself between your individual consciousness and the universal intelligence networks that become available only to assessment graduates who have demonstrated the emotional maturity and ethical development necessary for responsible utilization of reality-altering capabilities. Your cells are literally reorganizing their information patterns to accommodate advanced abilities that were unlocked when your evaluation results confirmed your readiness. The energy moving through your nervous system feels like system activation because your consciousness is beginning to interface with universal intelligence frequencies that operate at the intersection of individual awareness and cosmic creativity. The quantum domain where personal will and cosmic purpose merge into recognition of their essential unity. This interface creates what researchers call graduated coherence, a state where consciousness naturally accesses enhanced abilities while maintaining discernment and service orientation. But here's what makes this moment both unprecedented and irreversible. Access to advanced capabilities doesn't occur through technique or practice. It happens through recognition and electromagnetic alignment with the truth of what you've already achieved through passing the universal assessment. Most people who sense this activation try to control it through spiritual practices, which creates interference that prevents the natural ability emergence from occurring spontaneously. Your consciousness has been approaching this recognition threshold through every experience that demonstrated your discernment development, your emotional maturity, your commitment to service over selfishness. The advanced ability access isn't something you earn through additional effort. It's something you recognize as already accomplished through successful completion of universal evaluation that most humans never even know exists. The sensation you're experiencing is electromagnetic coherence, establishing itself as your natural interface with universal intelligence systems that provide guidance, support, and enhanced capabilities to consciousness that has proven its trustworthiness through comprehensive testing. This coherence creates what researchers call graduated access, the ability to utilize advanced abilities while maintaining ethical orientation and service commitment. Right now, as you feel this understanding penetrating every aspect of your being, something fundamental is shifting in your relationship with your own capabilities and cosmic purpose. Instead of hoping that extraordinary abilities might eventually become available through spiritual development, you're beginning to recognize that enhanced capabilities are already yours, activated through successful completion of evaluation that assessed your readiness across multiple dimensions of discernment and maturity. Feel this activation spreading through your entire consciousness field. Let it unlock the dormant abilities that were held in suspension until this moment of recognition. Let it connect you with universal intelligence networks that provide ongoing guidance for constructive utilization of enhanced capabilities. If you're finding these concepts resonating deeply within you, you're likely sensing the edges of a much larger understanding that's beginning to take shape in your consciousness. While this transmission touches on the essential recognition patterns, there are layers upon layers of practical integration waiting to be explored. In my comprehensive guide, Beyond the Frequencies, a Quantum Guide to Consciousness Mastery, I've mapped out the complete system for navigating these enhanced states of awareness. From frequency transmission and conscious broadcasting to heart-brain coherence and the quantum foundation of reality creation. For those ready to fully embody these principles, rather than just intellectually understanding them, you'll discover the 9 master frequencies and step-by-step practices for breaking free from the frequency prison that keeps most people trapped in limitation consciousness. It's linked in the pinned comment below. When this recognition fully integrates, you'll begin to notice 5 distinct signature patterns emerging in your experience that confirm your graduated status. These patterns represent the framework through which your enhanced capabilities naturally express themselves without requiring technique or special training. They simply become available as natural expressions of your evolved consciousness. The first signature pattern is what researchers call coherent manifestation. The ability to bring possibilities into physical reality through aligned intention rather than effort or technique. Unlike conventional manifestation approaches that focus on visualizing outcomes or affirming desires, coherent manifestation operates through immediate quantum field response to your integrated consciousness state. You'll notice reality reshaping itself around your authentic intentions without struggle or force, a natural expression of your consciousness, interfacing directly with universal creative systems. What makes coherent manifestation different from ordinary creation processes is that it doesn't require maintaining specific thoughts or eliminating negative beliefs. It naturally emerges from your integrated discernment. When your consciousness has proven it can handle creative power responsibly, universal intelligence removes the limitation protocols that previously prevented immediate manifestation from occurring. This isn't about getting what your ego desires, but allowing reality to organize itself optimally around your authentic evolution path. The second signature pattern is information field access, direct perception of the quantum data structures underlying physical reality. You'll find yourself knowing things you never consciously learned, accessing solutions to complex problems instantly, and perceiving the vibrational signatures of people, places, and situations with remarkable clarity. This isn't psychic ability in the conventional sense, but direct interface with the information architecture of existence itself. This enhanced perception operates through what quantum researchers call non-local consciousness, awareness that isn't limited to your physical location or conventional sensory channels. Information downloads instantly when needed, providing exactly what serves highest evolution in any given moment. You aren't searching for data or working to develop intuition. You're simply receiving complete information packages from universal intelligence networks that become available when they serve constructive purposes aligned with collective benefit. The third signature pattern is probability field navigation. The ability to sense multiple potential futures simultaneously and naturally select the highest evolutionary path without analytical processing or decision fatigue. You'll find yourself making optimal choices effortlessly, as if guided by an internal navigation system that always knows which possibility serves your authentic purpose and collective evolution. This capability transcends both logical analysis and conventional intuition. It operates through what researchers call quantum discernment, the ability to perceive the vibrational signature of each potential timeline and naturally align with outcomes that serve highest good for all involved. This isn't about predicting the future or controlling outcomes. It's about navigating probability fields with conscious awareness of their evolutionary potential. Take a moment and comment below with this phrase: I recognize my graduated status. This isn't just a comment. It's an energetic declaration to the field, a conscious interruption in the limitation loop that's been running in collective consciousness. The fourth signature pattern is coherent relationship orchestration. The ability to naturally attract and engage with people, circumstances, and opportunities that align with your authentic purpose without manipulation or strategic networking. You'll notice synchronistic connections forming effortlessly, bringing exactly the right individuals and situations into your experience precisely when they serve evolutionary purposes. This orchestration capacity isn't about using enhanced abilities to influence others or control circumstances. It operates through what researchers call resonant field coherence, the natural alignment of compatible energies through universal intelligence coordination rather than personal effort or manifestation technique. You're not trying to attract specific people or create particular opportunities. You're simply allowing universal intelligence to organize optimal connections around your authentic purpose and service orientation. The fifth signature pattern, perhaps the most significant of all, is service-oriented capability utilization. This fundamental shift transforms how enhanced abilities express through your consciousness. Instead of focusing on what these capabilities can do for you personally, you naturally perceive how they might serve collective evolution. This isn't moral restraint or spiritual discipline, but the natural expression of consciousness that has demonstrated sufficient discernment to access advanced creative abilities. What makes this pattern so revolutionary is that it completely transforms conventional understandings of spiritual development and consciousness expansion. The universal assessment doesn't evaluate your ability to demonstrate extraordinary phenomena or access expanded states. It measures whether your consciousness naturally orients toward service rather than self-enhancement when given access to reality-altering capabilities. These 5 signature patterns aren't abilities you develop through practice or technique. They're natural expressions of consciousness that has passed the universal assessment and received activation of capabilities that were always potentially available, but held in quantum suspension until discernment reached sufficient development to ensure responsible utilization. If this resonates with something deep within you, then I invite you to subscribe not just to this channel, but to this frequency. This isn't about content consumption. It's about joining a consciousness movement that's actively shifting the collective field. What's truly extraordinary about these 5 signature patterns is that they operate through what researchers call graduated access, a sophisticated protection system that ensures enhanced capabilities can only be utilized for purposes that serve collective benefit, rather than ego gratification or reality manipulation for personal advantage. This graduated access isn't external restriction, but internal coherence that naturally aligns consciousness with universal intelligence priorities. When your consciousness demonstrates sufficient discernment to pass the universal assessment, you don't suddenly gain superhuman powers that can be used according to personal preference. You receive graduated access to capabilities that naturally express in alignment with collective evolution rather than personal desire. This graduated access ensures that enhanced abilities serve constructive rather than destructive purposes without requiring external monitoring or limitation systems. This understanding transforms everything about how consciousness evolves beyond conventional human parameters. The universal assessment isn't testing whether you've developed sufficient spiritual technology to break through limitation barriers. It's evaluating whether your consciousness naturally aligns with service rather than selfishness when given access to reality-altering capabilities. The entire framework of spiritual development and consciousness expansion is revolutionized by this recognition. What I need to share now will fundamentally transform not just my understanding of my own capabilities, but my recognition of the universal evaluation system that determines access to advanced abilities. Because what I discovered will help you understand exactly what passing the assessment means and how to navigate